Welcome to the Evolving Healer. I'm C.Metoyer, your host, and a little bit about myself. I'm currently a graduate student on the journey of healing myself while helping others heal along the journey. A little bit about the podcast, we'll be sharing real life experiences while you're going on your journey and while I'm going on my journey, being true, authentic, and pure. Welcome to the Evolving Healer. Again, I'm C.Metoyer, your host, a mental health counseling graduate student on the journey of healing, learning, and becoming. So last week we talked about shifting into maintaining peace in a chaotic world, but I think it's time for us to go in a different direction. We're going to shift into something called seasonal depression, which a lot of us may be experiencing it now that the seasons have changed. Of course, when seasons change, the truth is sometimes we change with the seasons. That's just the reality of life. When you think about seasonal depression, seasonal depression is something that occurs during a specific season of our life. Most of the time, it happens in the fall and the winter time due to, of course, it gets darker early in the day. We don't see as much sunlight throughout the day, things of that nature. So that's typically when we see that feeling of seasonal depression. So today we're diving into what seasonal depression feels like, what it looks like, how to survive the journey of seasonal depression, and overall, like, what am I experiencing on my journey of seasonal depression? So let's dive right into it. You can always see seasonal depression coming. You can't see any type of depression coming sometimes. Sometimes it's like a wave. It just hits you at the spur of the moment. So understanding and being self-aware when you're going into that dark place or when that seasonal depression may be hitting you is important. For a lot of people, it's not random. It's the brain responding to, less sunlight, things of that nature, understanding like, hey, it's darker earlier. I no longer have sun up to sundown, at 5:30 it's dark. Prior, it was dark at 7, 8 o'clock or so. So understanding that. And then for myself, like waking up, I was waking up extremely tired, exhausted. It's like, man, I don't never get enough rest. I don't never get enough sleep. I'm like, I'm going to bed earlier, but when it comes to seasonal depression, you tend to find yourself losing motivation or you groggy. Like I said, you're not getting enough sleep or you feel like you're not getting enough sleep. And then of course, you may lead yourself to isolating yourself, not wanting to socialize with people that, you once were really close knitted to. You falling back, you kind of distant in a sense or essence. So that's part of the journey of seasonal depression as well. And then just losing that interest of doing the things that you usually do. Just like regular depression, you lose interest in those things that you typically enjoy over time. So for myself, it's like I had to realize like, okay, nah, something going on. And I had to take a step back, like, and realize, like, it's okay. You have to reset. You got to take that time for yourself and realize, like, hey, on a healing journey, every day, like I said before, it's not going to look the same. It's not going to feel the same. So it's important for yourself to know that, okay, this is what I want my healing journey to look like. This is what I'm trying to accomplish on this healing journey. So that's very important. Like when I first started graduate school, last October, for myself, it was a big shift for myself, very time consuming. And I could feel myself going down that dark rabbit hole, isolating myself from people, becoming distant, wanting to sleep all the time. Like I'm not getting enough sleep. So I had to pretty much pull myself out of that and be like, okay, what am I gonna do to not fall in that trap? To not get stuck in this. Because once you get stuck in a season of depression, you can venture off into pretty extensive path or journey. You can lose yourself along the way. And for yourself, it's important to seek the help that you may need and continue to try to pull yourself into continue to doing the things that you enjoy so you don't stay in that season of that depression. It's very important. and understanding like, hey, I know I'm getting less sunlight. I feel like I'm getting less sleep. What is it that I need to do to adjust my schedule to make sure that I'm staying above water? How can I continue to stay focused and grounded? How can I stay motivated when seasonal depression is hitting me? Taking those things into consideration and holding yourself to that standard of, I don't want to stay in this place or space is very important. And then not only that, for myself, like as a graduate student going through seasonal depression, it was like, man, I wasn't concentrating on schoolwork, becoming distracted. And then one day it was like, nah, you done came too far to think about giving up or wanting to give up. So it was like, let me lock in. I'm halfway through the semester. I'm halfway through my program. Like I gotta stick to the plan, no matter how hard, how tired I am, or whatever the case may be. The past few weeks, it's been a many restless nights. Many nights of me staying up 12, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, still have to get up the next day and go to work. But like I always tell you, knowing your purpose and your why gonna always keep you grounded and allow you to stay the course no matter how hard it gets. And for myself, it was like once I realized that I wasn't as focused on my schoolwork, my grades weren't slipping or anything. It's just like I wasn't retaining the information. I wasn't giving it my all like I was before. So it was like, what's wrong? Why you not as goal driven and determined as you were before? So I had to take a step back and really self-evaluate myself and be like, something is wrong. And accept the reality of, let me take some time for myself. Let me take that time to reset and reset. Let me get myself back together. Like I have 3 weeks left for school, 3 weeks left for school. So it was like, after I realized that, I snapped out of it. And it was like, okay, I got this. And after that, I logged back in. I started to complete my assignments ahead of time. Started to use my time more wisely. Manage my time in a different manner. When it came to those 15-page long papers, I had to break it down in, small portions. Like, cool, I'm gonna work on this part today, work on this part tomorrow. Understanding like, don't overload or overwork myself. I'm already in a season of shift and change. So don't overdo it. Don't overextend yourself. And one thing my therapist always tell me, when you get to that road of burnout, what is gonna bring you back to? You're gonna be back in that dark hole, back depressed, back anxious. You're gonna be back to square one where you were last year around this time. So I had to really self-reflect and was like, nah, we're not going back there. We're not gonna be flustered. We're not gonna be overwhelmed. We're not gonna be anxious. Anxiety, depression won't consume our mind in this season. We're gonna hold ourselves to that standard and understand like, hey, I'm on this healing journey. I'm gonna continue to heal. I'm gonna continue to become the best version of myself. For myself, like, when it comes to this journey, I say it's been a challenge, but it's been fulfilling to see who I am becoming along this journey. I've seen myself evolve. I've seen myself step out of my comfort zone and my norm, and I feel like that's been the most joyous part of my healing journey. And when it comes to like the excessive sleep and things of that nature, most of our bodies are trying to fight the feeling or of those emotions that we don't want to feel. So what we do, we resort to sleeping in, sleeping late, sleeping all times of the day because we thinking sleeping's gonna numb that pain that we're feeling. But as humans and as adults, we have to learn to deal with that hurt. We can't continue to bottle up that hurt and that pain and allow it to get out of control. Because once it gets to that state of out of control, that's when crisis situations begin. But you have to understand, like, hey, you have to want to get yourself out of that dark place. Nobody else can want it for you. Mama, daddy, grandma, and grandpa, nobody can't want that for you. You have to want that for self. And a lot of times when we retract and isolate ourselves from people, we feel like that's the best thing to do in that season. I know for myself, I get in that mode like, man, I just don't want to be bothered with nobody. I just rather be by myself because I feel like I just don't need nobody company in that time, in that moment. But having people you love and people that support you and people that don't want to see you down, that's the most important time to have those people in your life to help get you out of that negative spirit, to help uplift you and empower you, to help remove, they're not going to remove that depression from you, but they're going to help you not focus so heavily on it. So it's important to continue to connect with your loved ones, connect with your friends, no matter how challenging it may be for yourself. Just do it. That's the best thing you can do. Don't take yourself to that dark place and just stay there. It's okay to take time to self for a short period of time just to get you together, but don't stay there. And oftentimes, when it comes to seasonal depression, a lot of us become what? Overwhelmed, stressed out, anxious, frustrated. We have to understand, like, all of those things are normal emotions. It's okay to feel those ways. But what is not okay to do is to take your anger or frustrations out on other individuals who are trying to help you along that journey. Take that step back, reset, recalibrate, accept the fact like, hey, I'm not okay. I'm not in the best headspace. But what am I going to do to get in the best headspace? And take that time to truly process like, hey, man, I did treat such and such bad or this way. We're in the season of giving thanks and being thankful. So understanding like, hey, you may have treated such and such in this way because you was frustrated or overwhelmed in that moment. Go back and apologize to that person. In today's society, we feel like we don't never have to apologize for anything. We feel like we too big for that. And that's the problem. We have to learn to hold ourselves accountable for our actions and realize that we're at fault. We're in the wrong. And understand that apologizing isn't a thing of, you being soft or anything like that. Everybody want to be the big guy or whatever. Like, it's okay to be empathetic. It's okay to show sympathy and empathy. We're human. We all have emotions. And in today's society, we have to learn to know how to express and share our emotions. We don't know how to communicate effectively. We don't know how to tell somebody, hey, I'm just going through this season. All we want to do is, let me go. Let me just disappear. Let me ghost them. Like, no, that's not okay. Learn how to communicate and speak your mind and say, hey, I'm just in a dark place right now. Like, this what's going on. Be transparent. Be realistic. Because you leaving that person that's probably in your life to help you along your journey in the blind spot of thinking, hey, dang, did I do such and such something? Why they acting like that with me? Why they treating me this way? What did I do to them? It's not okay. So understanding that Your actions impact those around you. In life, we have to learn to stop being so selfish and be selfless. If you truly love and care about those individuals around you, you'll know how to show them empathy. You'll know how to show them sympathy. You'll know how to love them. You'll know that apologizing to them when you're wrong is a sign of respect. You have to give respect in order to receive respect. Don't allow individuals to just walk all over you and treat you how they want to treat you. And guess what? If they treat you any type of way, they don't love you like they say they do. And it's okay for you to walk out their life. It's okay for you to move on. Don't allow a friendship, a relationship, or nothing to keep you captive, because one thing I don't play about is my respect. And that go for anybody. And just understanding, like, season of depression affect your relationships, school. It have you questioning your purpose. You know, sometimes in your relationships, when it comes to season of depression, like I said, you may always be flustered. You may just, any little thing may trigger you and allow you to go off the ledge and treat that significant other any type of way because you're in the heat of the moment. Even with school, I know for myself, like the past few weeks, I've been doing a lot of complaining. It's been a lot of me, man, I'm tired of this. This is just so much work. I got all this to do. I got all of that to do. And yesterday, my therapist told me, you've been having this syllabus for how many weeks? How many months? You knew this was coming. And I'm like, yeah, I know it was coming, but why they got to pile all this up on us at one time? And in that moment, I had to sit with what she was telling me. Like, yeah, I knew it was coming. And realize, like, I can't change it, so why am I complaining about it? And when it comes to your purpose, in those moments, you question time after time after time, like, do I really supposed to be on this journey? Am I really on the right path of life? Is this really my calling? Do I really want to do this still? Because you in that space of you going down that rabbit hole and you thinking negative and you speaking negative, that's going to continue to be the outcome. We have to learn to shift our perspectives and understand that what you give is what you get. Speak those positive affirmations over your life. Surround yourself with those positive individuals in your life. Positivity is going to be the key to it all. And for myself, like when it comes to, you know, some of on the journey, like some of the toughest and the heaviest parts of it all is you feel like nobody understands what you're going through. And you feel that way because maybe your path to life or your journey of life is totally different from those around you. But I feel like when it comes to season of depression, everybody walking path is totally different. But guess what? You can learn something from that individual based upon their journey. Y'all may both be losing motivation. Y'all both may be doing some excessive amounts of sleeping. Y'all both may be in a season of overwhelming season, or anxious, or, you know, things of that nature. So understanding like your story and somebody else's story may not be the same, but understanding that their story and your story could most definitely impact one another. You often feel guilty for not being yourself. You feel guilty for isolating yourself from individuals. Like I said before, it's okay to separate yourself from people for a short period of time, but don't allow it to be your normal. because all that's gonna do is push you down that rabbit hole of going into a deeper, darker depression. You're gonna become lonely. Whatever you're going through, you're gonna constantly think about it. It's gonna continue to replay in your head. You're not gonna get out of that season. But let's shift to how we survive the journey. How do we overcome the obstacles and the hurdles that we may be facing during the season of depression? Like I always tell y'all, I'm a big advocate for mental health. Mental health matters. Take care of yourself. If you don't take care of your mind, body, and soul, you'll never go out and be impactful. So for myself, the past few weeks, a lot of self-reflection, a lot of making sure that my plan align with God's plans, trusting him along the journey, spending time in his word, and just listening to the small things. I've been receiving confirmation after confirmation that I'm on the right journey of life. I know what I'm called to do. I spend time in therapy at least twice a month. If I need to go more, I'll go more. But as of right now, that's all I need. So understanding the extent of therapy that you need. Some people may need to go to therapy every week. Some people may need to go once a month. You have to do what's best for you in that season, what's going to help you along that healing journey, what's going to be impactful for you and your process. Everybody's process isn't the same. Taking the time to really maybe go for a walk, go to the gym 2 to 3 times a week, small things like that. Being that we're getting less sunlight, when there is sunlight outside, going out there, getting 10, 15 minutes of sunlight, go get that fresh air. That's important. And just training your body to adjust to life changes and the shifts. So your body won't go into shock when something sudden shifts in your life. Understanding that on the healing journey, every day is not going to be the same. Healing isn't linear. Understanding that, hey, today I may be upbeat and high spirits. Tomorrow, I may be down in the slumps. But knowing how to pivot, knowing how to get yourself out of that dark space, knowing how to not stay stagnant or complacent, knowing that I don't want to stay here. This is not my normal. This is not where I want to be. It's the most important part of it all. And then not only that, for myself, I had to really, like I'm that person. If I get in the spirit of, and I'm just falling out of it, I'm going to separate myself from everybody. I might stop talking to certain people and just go distant. And I've been working on that. This season has been different for me. I haven't been as isolated. I've been staying connected, checking in on those who matters to me, like, and just understanding, like, people don't understand. I don't have to always pick up the phone to call you. I don't always have to text you. The phone works both ways. And that's the reality of things. People feel like, hey, I haven't heard from you. No. Just as well as I can pick up the phone, you can too. So just understanding, like, don't feel guilty because that's what people say or people feel. People make time for the people that they want in their life. People put who they want as priority in their life. You pick up the phone and call your other friends, other families, so do the same for me. And that's why I'm learning, like, I'm not going to always be the one to reach out to people. It's just, it's not there for me anymore. I used to always be like a people pleaser, and I always want to say, hey, well, I'm going to text such and such. I'm going to call such and such. No, they both done said that thing got old. No longer doing it. It is what it is. And I just want people to understand, like, when you're on this journey of seasonal depression, understanding that you're not a burden. You're human. It's okay to feel those emotions. And that's why you have a community to help build and empower you, to help motivate you and keep you steady on the journey, to keep you pushing in the right direction. And understanding that when you're going through even regular depression, when you're going through seasonal depression, you don't have to go through it alone. Doing the things that you enjoy when you're going through is the most important part of it all. And just understanding, seek therapy when needed. Don't allow the world to dictate your mental health. Understanding, if you feel any little shift in your spirit of sadness, anything that disrupt your sleep pattern, your relationships with your friends, your families, any little thing, if you just feel hopeless in this season, seek therapy. The holidays are one of the toughest seasons for many people. Get the help that you need. Take care of yourself and understand that your mental health do matter. Understanding that you have to rest in this season. Slowing down and self-reflecting. Understanding that slowing down isn't a failure. Understanding that sometimes you have to slow down to recalibrate, to get you together. Like myself, I've taken a break from things that I'm very passionate about to make sure I don't become burnt out. I don't lose myself along this journey. And it was hard for me, don't get me wrong, because I'm like, no, I have to be committed to this. I have to be consistent. Like the podcast, I had to take 2 weeks off. But I had to understand that my mental health was the most important part of it all. I can't be impactful and be a voice to the world if I'm not my best version of myself. Like last week was my first week getting back into recording. I didn't really feel like myself, but today I feel better. I feel like myself. And it feels good when you take care of yourself. You can feel a difference. This season has taught me, like, take that step back. Take that time to reset. Stay the course. Being patient. God has taught me a new level of patience in this season. And I have learned that God will put you in some of the most challenging seasons of your life. These past few months have been one of the hardest seasons of my life. But he has prepared me and took me to the next level like no other. I continue to trust the process. Some great things coming. But just remember, if you're in a dark season right now, I want you to hear me. This is not the end of your story. Your light is not gone. It's just resting. Seasonal depression is real. Be resilient. Take the time for yourself. I'm proud of you for taking that step of listening to me today and talking about seasonal depression. I'm proud of you for showing up for yourself. Continue to heal along this journey. Take care of your mind, body, and soul. And again, thank you for joining me on today's episode of Seasonal Depression, The Evolving Healer.